Hi everybody, welcome to another tier list where this is how it looked on release patch. We're now on 1.01 for the patch notes, so we got a new hunter we gotta add in, and we also gotta change up some of the spots here, so we'll just get right into it. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, to start us off, in this patch, we saw some balance changes. We have some nerfs to, for example, Shiv and Wukong. We had to buff Eva, new hunter Tetra, which we'll get back to, but also a big addition of you can now buy emergency platforms in the shop. Now, why is this so important? Well, emergency platform counters all dunk hunters. It's like a big dunk counter. Now, I think we'll start though at the bottom of the list, some of the changes, build back up slowly, and see what is the most important changes. Now, at the bottom, at C tier, we have Void, we have Myth, we have Hudson, we have Eluna, and we have Eva. Myth was this low because of bug, so we can instantly say that the bug has been fixed. She's a lot better. Now, I'm putting her in the B section. Again, left to right doesn't matter as much. We're not like insanely in depth here, but she's in the B tier. The reason why she doesn't go higher, I talked about it earlier that I think Myth had the potential to go higher, but then when you look at the games and you try out Myth a little bit, you realize that Myth is hard countered by the grip burning palms. Why? Well, because if she gets hit by burning palms in any means that she can't shift through walls. One of the big things with Myth is being able to shift through walls, being very mobile, playing around space in a creative way. She's still strong, she outputs a lot of good damage, but it's a big part of her kit that you just can't do in very many scenarios. So the burning palms is a big counter. Now to other stuff, Eva did get a slight buff. I don't think it's enough to push her up, really. I do think Eva is gonna need more buffs if you want to have them up. Eluna is the same, where I don't think she needs... so she's not the same, but Eluna is in a spot where I think her kit struggles more than other things. And Void probably needs more space in form of movement speed. I think one of the core things that his kit is good, he's strong, but if you up his base... either cooldown reduction or movement speed, those are like the main things that will help him more in ranked situations. Then we go over to the B section. In the B section, I would like to respectfully put Jewel down. Jewel is weaker than I thought. Also because of other hunters that are up, except example Tetra, which can kind of just block everything of Jewel. Now some Jewel say also you can like, oh, but like the walls are good because then you can R&B them into the walls of Tetra. But then again, if the Tetra is good, from what I've seen in most cases, the Jewels will struggle even more, and there's like a bunch of Tetra players now. But in general, I think also I overvalued Jewel a little bit, but she's on the weaker side for sure. Now, onto somebody I think is stronger than expected, Ghost. I'm gonna be pulling up. The reason why is because I've been seeing certain builds with Ghost, for example, combination of 7 Sins, I believe it's called, and Black Rose, which kind of one-shots. If you hit one nade and you dash in, you hit those LBs, you deal surprisingly a lot of damage on Ghost. So I think for sure Ghost is a lot stronger than what I anticipated, and seeing all of these new builds, I think Ghost is really A tier material for sure. Another one I want to have up here is Bishop. Bishop's mobility and overall damage like output with LMB is really good, and I think that Bishop is really happy in this meta, also being able to traverse like better over Abyss because of having multiple shifts. Not that it's quick, like Bishop shifts are slow, you need to like activate it to have the movement, but the fact that you have multiple shifts means that it's easier to stay in Abyss, but it's also easier to fight in Abyss and juke a lot of other stuff. So I think Bishop is for sure benefiting a lot. A lot of the other stuff is staying very similar here, not like massive changes. I would say like somebody under the radar is like Felix is like top of B. Again, order doesn't matter that much, but like I'm considering him up there. But I do think that Felix is harder to pull off in general and harder to get value of. But I would say like keep an eye on Felix, as I think he's a little bit of an underrated pick. In general, when we then get to the A tier, some that needs to be pulled down, I think Seth and Shrike goes down. Not that they are like that much worse, but rather that when you look at the power differentials of the people that are in A tier, I think those go down. Again, don't think too much about left and right, but it's like it's still up there, they're still strong. Other things, Carbine was actually weaker than I expected, and that's also because he was bugged last patch. But that was now fixed, and he's like 50% stronger with his LMBs. So Carbine, mistakenly, was a little bit too high, but he's staying here in A tier because he is really strong. More on like the niche side, but definitely up here for sure. Then we also get over to some of the emergency platform changes. One of the hunters that get impacted the most out of this is Jin. Jin is like the Abyss hunter, where he really struggles on land, he's really weak, but like the Abyss is his kingdom. But now everybody is running around having 2 emergency platforms at least available at all times, meaning that Jin is struggling a lot more. Now, of course, it costs 500 apiece. It's fairly cheap, but in many cases, people might not even have it. But do remember to buy emergency platforms. They are really, really strong. So this also then changes a lot for Jin. I think he's the main person that gets weaker with this. For Oath, this doesn't really like change much, as it's more of like the ultimate is the main dunking ability. I think his kit is still really strong. The blocking, the healing, the tankiness, the damage, like Oath is still up there. Same with Kingpin and Brawl, where both of them are still really, really strong in Brawl mobility and damage, in Kingpin mobility and peak potential. So being able to have these in ranked where things are a lot more fast-paced and being able to juke around, they are still really strong. So Jin is for sure the biggest, sadly, loser with emergency platform in shop edition, which is kind of big. Then we have Wukong that I haven't talked about. Wukong goes up. Now, the reason why he goes up is purely because of him being able to just R&B. Like, I thought the nerf would be good, and I was like, on the last tier list, I was like, like, he's the top of A. I'm like thinking of putting him MS. But the more you see of Wukong, the clearer it is that his R&B is really unhealthy and hard to play against. Coming across from screen, really hard to juke, really easy for the Wukong to be able to put it around, and you're just permanently playing around the R&B. Wukongs are just permanently playing around the R&B, which is really frustrating. Shiv then also got nerfed, still up here, still needs to be nerfed. The problem with Shiv, she heals way too much. I'm really happy they touched a lot of her damage numbers, really good, but you need to touch her passive. She's healing way too much from her passive, and the general healing also from shift reset, or like knock reset when you get healing and shift reset, but also from the fact that she really strong with certain relics, Vive Infuser, etc. So you need to touch her healing like 100%. Shiv needs more nerf, Wukong needs nerf, Sky Sharks has not been touched, they're still really good in ranked. And then we get over to Tetra, which is the last one. Tetra, I think, is really strong as well. She has good mobility, range, peeling, damage, control aspect. Like, I am surprised by how strong and also fun Tetra is. I think Tetra is really fun to play. But for sure, I would want a nerf for all of these S tier hunters. Shiv for the healing, Wukong for the R&B, Tetra for honestly just damage in general. I would want to have her more tanky than the damage output she has, and I think you also need to lower the damage that the Sky Sharks does. I think all of these needs a nerf. But then again, if you want to be countering the dunk hunters, there's a lot of dunk complaints, which is very reasonable. Buy emergency platforms. They counter the dunks super hard. But then again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having fun at the breach. Let me know what you guys think of the list. And I'll see you in the further updates. See ya.